Hello, welcome to the Widow podcast. It is lovely to have you here. Now, this is my first podcast and I am super excited about this. This is something that I have been wanting to do for a while. I have so many wonderful conversations with people on my Instagram page that I just felt I needed to share this. I needed to get this out there. But also, my story, my journey through grief, the things I've learned, the things I'm still learning. I wanted a platform where I could share these things, where I could reach more people, where I could help more widows grieving, or anyone grieving the loss of a loved one. Grief is heavy, and it's something that as a society we don't know enough about, we don't acknowledge enough, and we are very uncomfortable around it. And that leaves people feeling quite lost and alone and wondering whether they're doing it right, wondering if there is a better way, should they be doing something different? And, there is no right or wrong way. There is only your way. And I want to help you tap into you. I want you to find the best way you can through your grief so that you can go on to create a full and vibrant life after loss. It is absolutely possible. It's not an overnight process. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a lot of self-compassion, but it is possible. And I guess I want to shine some light in a dark place and provide hope, but not just hope, provide the way, the know-how to help you discover you, what you desire, and how you can go about getting it. So for my first podcast, I thought I would introduce myself for those of you that don't know me, a little bit about my story and a little bit about my aspirations for what I'm doing. So back in September 2016, my husband, Simon, it was one Sunday morning, he went on a bike ride like he normally did at the weekend with his friend, and he had a heart attack. They tried to resuscitate him for an hour. They couldn't bring him back. And the next thing I knew, it was about 10 to 11 on a Sunday morning. Simon's friend, our friend, Mark, was knocking on my door, telling me that Simon had died. Wow. In that moment, everything changes. Your whole world around you collapses, essentially. Everything you once knew has gone. And it's big, it's huge, it's going to have, an enormous effect on your life. But as you go through the grieving process, it becomes very apparent how huge. It's something you're not prepared for. It's a world you don't know or understand. And you have to navigate your way through it somehow. I have two girls. At the time, they were 9 and 5. I had to tell them their dad had died. I had to tell my mother-in-law her son had died. And then I had to tell all our family and friends. I had help, I had support, I have wonderful people around me. I live in the town I grew up in. My family, my friends rallied round. We were literally picked up and carried. And still to this day, I am eternally grateful for all the support that I had and that I still get. It really was quite incredible how people gathered around us and supported us, the community as a whole, there was so much that was done to support us through that time. But it still boils down to you, doesn't it? It still is up to you how you choose to respond to the loss. Now, very early on, after Simon died, I remember saying to my mum and my sister in the car, literally, a day or two after he's died, I do not want this to define mine and the girl's life in a negative way for the rest of our lives. I am not going to become a victim of this. This is not going to become our excuse for not achieving life, not living life, not creating something wonderful. Partly because that's what I wanted, what I believed, but also I just knew that that would have been Simon's outlook. He was very black and white, and he was very much, you have one life, live it, and make the best of it, and don't make excuses, don't let life kind of drag you down. And I guess that was in my head as well. I had no idea how I was going to do this, none at all. But in deciding that, it determined the actions and the choices that I made moving forward. Now, I'm not saying they were all perfect. I made some very questionable choices, decisions along the way. I did the typical ate too much, drank too much, spent too much, tried to go on holidays to escape my grief, dated, I kind of went out into the dating world, and thought that would help. You're just trying to find something, aren't you, to fill that void, something, anything that is just so painful. I had counseling, which was fantastic, because trying to understand all the thoughts and the feelings I was having, especially anger. And I was never angry at Simon. I was never particularly angry at the world or the fact that he died, but I was angry with friends and family. I was angry that they would come and sit with me, and then they would go home to their partners and carry on a good life. And, that they would say things to me that I just felt were really, really not helpful, really inconsiderate. Of course they weren't. I had a heightened sensitivity at the time, understandably, very easily irritated. And I was being unreasonable. I knew that, but I didn't know how to process it and how to sit with it. And counseling definitely helped me. And, I now understand that it's part of the process. And these things aren't permanent. I think I was worried I was going to become a very bitter, twisted, angry person that would have no friends because I'd shut them all out. That didn't happen. I have some wonderful, many wonderful people around me that I could be open and honest with. And there's all the secondary losses as well that we have to process. It's not just the loss of your person. It can be the loss of the home, the financial security, loss of intimacy, loss of co-parenting, loss of a future, loss of a past, loss of your sense of self. The list goes on. It is never ending. And you start off and you think, okay, this people kind of say to you, don't they? Give it a year, just get through the first year, do all the first dates. So in my mind, I was kind of thinking, okay, does that mean it's going to get better after a year? I think so. So let's just kind of work through this year. After 6 months, I can't say I felt a lot better, and I thought I would be. So that kind of worried me a little bit. I think at that point I went on to antidepressants and sleeping tablets. I just realized I couldn't really do it all, and it wasn't actually getting that much better. And I got through the first year. Some amazing highs, some very dark lows. And I kind of felt, I got to the end of the year and I thought, okay, this doesn't really feel any better. Why? This should. All I thought was, oh my God, that's 1 year. And I've got to get through many more, and I'm exhausted and I'm tired and I don't want to do it all again because it was just so painful. And in a lot of respects, the second year was worse because the reality sets in, doesn't it? That person's never coming back. This is now your life. This isn't a moment. This is forever. They're gone, and you've got to figure this out. So again, stumbled through my second year with still loads of wonderful support around me. still doing the things that maybe weren't that helpful to me, but at the time they felt helpful. They were distractions, and I think we need distractions from it sometimes. You need to feel like you're not a grieving widow, and that you can do things and have fun and be attractive to someone. I think that's normal, but at the end of the day, you still got to come home and be on your own and grieve. It doesn't take all the problems away. So after 2.5 years, I got myself a coach and I worked on me. I invested in me. And it really was one of the best things I ever did. I worked on my health, my fitness, and who I was, what I wanted out of life. And within 6 months, I had turned my life around. I didn't feel lost. I had found confidence, clarity, direction, self-belief. I just felt like I could do it. And again, it wasn't an easy process, and it's a process I'm still on. I'm always learning and growing and evolving, and I love it. But it really did make a huge impact. And in doing that, I thought, I can't know this. I can't have achieved this and done this and not share it, knowing that sadly there are so many young widows out there, so many struggling to find their way, to see hope, to understand that, what you're going through in that moment isn't permanent. Brighter days do come. It is possible to discover you, to create something in which you can flourish in, to find a passion, a purpose, but also to learn how to take your person with you, honoring them and their life, not leaving them behind, not feeling guilty about it, being honest and open about all the thoughts and feelings you have. Essentially, it's not what we let out that causes us harm, it's what we keep in. And, we have to find a way of releasing that. And that's different for everyone, but it was huge. It was pivotal. And at that point, I thought, I want to help others do this. It's been a journey. I didn't start off as a widow coach. I started off as a breakup and bereavement coach, and then a grief and loss coach. But naturally, I was, resonating with widows because that's my story and that's what I've done. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It is my passion. It is my purpose to normalize grief, to talk about it, to have the uncomfortable conversations, to help people feel less like they're going mad and more like, actually, it's okay. This is normal. To help people reduce their expectations, to be kinder to themselves, and to find a more positive way through their grief. Because I've been there. I've been there in those moments where it is just so dark and heavy and painful, and you don't know what to do. You don't know that it's going to get any better. There were times when I thought, oh my God, I can't do this for the rest of my life. It's too much. And if this is what life is like, what's the point? So, it's evolved and it's grown, and I have met the most amazing people, clients. I do one-to-one coaching, I do group coaching, and I want to grow that. I want to help more people. I want to bring more people together, because bringing people together is where the magic happens. Being with people that get it, that understand, just creates this safe space. And that means so much when you're in a terribly dark place. I've met people through social media, other widows that are also out there helping others through social media, sharing their story, giving grief a voice. And like I say, on my Instagram channel, I've had so many wonderful conversations with so many inspiring people. It just fires my belly. It really does, because it can feel like it's the end. And it is the end of that life, but it's not the end of your life in its entirety. It's a new chapter. It's a new book. People talk about new chapters. I sometimes think the page hasn't turned. I feel like that book has shut and another book has opened. But however you want to look at it, everything changes. You change. but change doesn't always mean bad. And there has been a lot of very positive changes in my life. I have learned a lot through Simon's life and his death. The grief journey has taught me a hell of a lot. And I believe, I feel I am a better person for it. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the learnings. That doesn't mean I'm glad Simon died at all. It just means I can accept the situation for what it is. I can take the learnings from it. I can create meaning from it, and I can go forward and do something truly wonderful that is aligned with who I am, that helps me connect to amazing people and allows me to build a life, a meaningful life in which I can flourish, that is vibrant, and that my children can go on in their life to feel empowered, to have the tools they need to be resilient, to lead by example, to walk my talk. I'm not saying I'm perfect, not by any stretch. There's always work to be done, but it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about having an open mind and an open heart to new ways, to try new things. And in doing that, it allows us to go on and find peace and joy in our hearts and in our minds. And I think if we're closed off to change, if we're closed off to new ways and new things, that keeps us stuck. And then we don't find our way forward. And in my mind, that's a great shame, because we are here to live, who knows how long for, but we have to make the best of it, right? So essentially, this is what I do. I have free widow support guide on my website, which you can find and sign up to. It's the 5 foundations for widows. It's the 5 areas which I believe you can put into place here and now. There are actionable steps you can take to help you take back control, to help you tap into you and do things that will support you through your grieving journey. I'm going to be having wonderful conversations. I'm going to be sharing lots with you on this journey, and I cannot wait to walk with you, to stand by you, to support you in this. And I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some comfort, some hope, some support, in a place where you desperately need it. I would love to hear from you. If there's anything you would particularly like me to talk about, or share, I would be more than happy to do that. If there's anybody that wants to come on and share their story and anything they've learned along the way, please get in touch. I would love to hear from you. But this is going to be the start of something amazing. We're going to create something special here. We're going to bring people together and help people at a time in their lives when they need it most. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. That's just a little bit about my story, and I will be sharing much more of it along the way, along with other people's stories too. So I'm sending you lots of love as always, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.